Hey everybody, I just wanted to take a few minutes to do a quick little video. This is the castle grayskull I made. I completely built it from scratch. My inspiration was the Mattel Classics grayskull, which of course is way too expensive. And I thought, might as well give it a try. So what I did, I got a block of flotation foam and I carved out the rough shape of the turrets, the entire face, everything. And on top of that, I added air dry clay and sculpted all the fine details. But as everybody knows, with air dry clay, if you let it dry, it's going to be cracked. It will look completely awful. So before it dries, you let it dry a couple of hours just to stiffen up just a little bit. And then you take a mixture of a mixture of glue, water, and paint, kind of thick but not too thick, and you take your toilet tissue and you put strips on there. You wet it down a little bit, you put strips, and then you dab. And as you dab, it conforms, and when it's dry, it's like concrete on top of it. And even if it cracks underneath, there's no way you're ever going to tell. But it's completely hardened. So what I wanted to do with it, my son, back in the day, we got him the old 2002 Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull, which was completely awful. But it had electronics in it. So I went up in the attic and I dug and I got that and I took it all apart and I incorporated all the electronics into this. What I also done was, all I could do was make the facade. It's rather thin. I wasn't able to do the back of the castle just for space purposes. There was no way I could store it or display it with a full castle. So what I done, I sculpted the interior. It's only about 3 inches deep, but it's forced perspective, which you'll see in just a second. What I done, I hid buttons like that. There's nothing on the rock. I got one over here. And I added, when he opens the sword, which is, I don't think it was ever in the cartoon, but it was in the old comics. It's got the slit in the rock, and when he puts his sword in, also I have the opening jaw bridge. What I mean by the forced perspective, as you're looking back in it, it looks like it goes forever, but that's only like a distance of, well, maybe more than 3 inches, about 3 or 4 inches. I incorporated some of the mechanics. And I went by the measurements of the Mattel Classics version. It may not be 100% true to scale, but I think it scales pretty nice with the figures. It works well for display. And I used neon paint, black light paint, so it kind of glows. This main floor is about 3 inches, and then it goes about 2 inches in the back there. All the sculpt work, I used real wood for this. It's mainly just milliput. For the base, it's not a lot you can do. I just tried to give it a three-dimensional look when you're looking straight on at it. It kind of looks like it kind of disappears, sort of. But yeah, I might have $30 in it when you factor in all the clay. Everything else was just around the house items that I used. Tried to give it as much three-dimensional look as possible. Again, I would have loved to have made the full, which I had intention to make the full castle with the bone structure that it sets on like in the cartoon, but it just wasn't going to happen. Well, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll try to post another one soon. I made the Snake Mountain it's slightly larger than the Super 7, but I used the Super 7 as inspiration. So stay tuned.